Hi, good afternoon, everybody. You are welcome all the way in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria, and I want to welcome the special women that are with me. These women are very special to my heart. I don't just bring anybody here, you, as I always say. I have two powerful women here, which I believe in all what they're doing. Number one, Dr. Kotesha. She's one of the women that I believe in what she's doing. She has been helping women and mothers across the world. She is one of the partners today and guess what? She's going to be talking about women and she's going to be talking about her strength and what make her a strong woman. So there's a lot of topic we're going to share today. I can't wait to all of you to share as much as you can and join us with this powerful woman. And my second special guest, she is so dear to me. Edith Keys, she is wonderful woman that she has been on the page on this program with me in several. She has also been in Nigeria. She has been supporting of D and K Swami financially and so many things she has been doing, healing women across the world. I can't wait to hear from her as well. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear from them. Please, I want you to introduce yourself a little bit more than what I said. It's going to be more sweet for everybody to hear you, honestly. Let's start with Dr. Kodesha.
Oh, okay. You're going to start with me. All right. Well, I am Dr. Corticia Cowan, the founder and CEO of a nonprofit that helps homeless teenage mothers and their babies. Outside of that, I am a Kingdom business birthing coach. I help women elevate an idea and birth it into a business so they can leave lasting legacies for their children's children, even after they're gone. Women just really, we are nurturers by heart and we birth babies and we have all these ideas. And sometimes we just need someone to help us activate that idea into an actual business. And so that's what I do outside of my nonprofit organization. And I just am so excited to be here again. Dr. Deborah is always asking me. And when she asks, I say yes because I don't say yes to
Yes,
everybody,
so
but this is
excited.
one particular woman that I just cannot not say no to. I love what she does. I love who she is. And I'm just so excited to be here today so we can pour into one another. I was just telling Sister Kiss that I love when you have all of us come on because we get something out of each other. So as we're depositing
Absolutely.
into the world, we are receiving deposits and filling our cups back up as well. So I am so excited to be here today. I'm live here from Macon, Georgia. Can't wait to get to Nigeria this year. It's so much going on
Mhm.
behind the scenes, everybody. So you may know me as the business birthing coach. You may know me as Coach Tish. You may know me as Minister Dr. Cowan, but whatever you know me as, you're going to know that I pour and I serve. And that's what I love. That's just who I am. Thank you so much for
Wow.
having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much. I'm happy to have you here. I'm going to pass it to I'm going to say Doctor. Maybe I'm going to say Doctor. Edith, please. Thank you for coming. I want you to tell the viewer a little bit about you, what you do, where you live in, how they can contact you. I can't wait for that. Thank you so much, sister.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, for inviting me here. I always love to join you and yes, help others, support others. Me personally, as you see, I'm a holistic therapist. What does it mean? I help people to actually heal from depression, PTSD, and insomnia, addictions. So all kinds of mental issues which is can hold them back from their best self. Like I work with many people who suffering from these things, and I just love seeing them break through, and I love seeing them to enjoy life again because they're going from misery to joy again, and I just love seeing that. That's my why. And then I used to be an engineer for 15 years, a petroleum industry, and I used to suffer from mental illnesses. I used to suffer from panic attacks, and I had to find a way how to heal from it. And I was learning different modalities, and some of them were just managing it. So it was like a decades of struggle for me as well. And then when I found finally the tool, the modality which helped me to overcome not just the panic attacks, but other patterns, even physical illness patterns or relationship patterns, basically that's when I decided that I need to actually change from engineering to healing, and I want to provide this new technique, this modality to people to actually help them, because I don't like to see people to be sad, and then to feel bad about them, and I just want to help to everybody shine and then be their best self.
Wow. Thank you so much. Uh, I want to say something to all our viewers. I want you to share as much as you can. We need more people. Please share as much as you can. Please share as much as you can. I know that we are gathering together to celebrate the strength of women and the resilience and the determination of women across the world. We celebrate the progress that they have made and we acknowledge the challenges they are still facing. Both important, we come together to empower each other to the new earth because we are moving forward. And I know that we are here to empower ourselves at the same time to empower everyone who is watching us across the world. I know a lot of people are here already with me here, and but I know I want people to come on online so that we you can come with your questions. They are here to put alignment on one of the things that we are facing and how can we empower the young people coming up as well. I want to go with a question. The first question I'm going to ask Dr. Quintessia. What makes you a strong woman?
Oh, a strong woman. Just being able to wake up and have resilience every day makes us a strong woman. And
Because
that's
you
what I
are a
believe that makes me a strong woman. What makes me a strong woman is that resilience to just get up out of bed. I was just talking to Sister Kiss offline about losing my mother in 2022 and then just losing my father in 2024 and just having the resilience to still get up and do what God is calling me to do makes me a strong woman. Being able to, what I tell people when I coach them, put their pain in their back pocket and perseverance in their front pocket. Just being able to go through diversity and go through different things makes me a strong woman. Being a wife and a mother and a grandmother, just being able to endure and still get up and put your clothes on and speak to people and preach to people and encourage people and talk to people makes me a strong woman. And I really believe that's what we have to tap into because all of us are strong women. But it is what you are going to do with everything that is hitting you and putting your back up against the wall. Being able to stand up and fight back is a strong woman. And so I really
wow,
truly believe that's what makes me a strong woman, that resilience to just keep moving forward, that resilience to push in the middle of grief, that resilience to pray for others when I don't even feel like praying. That's what makes you a strong woman. And I really do
absolutely.
believe that's why I am a strong woman because,
Wow, I
losing
love
two
that.
parents back to back, 2 years apart, still grieving from one and going through the other, that's a blow within itself. But to be able to wake up and still say, okay, God, what you want me to do today? What you want me to do next is a strong woman. And I really do believe that's what a strong woman is. Someone with resilience, perseverance, and that can just push through anything and get to the mark of what she's called to be doing. That's a strong woman.
Wow, I love that. Dr. Edith, what do you think? What makes you a strong woman and what makes you an independent woman?
I believe that when I use my leadership skills, and then I show a good example to others, because when you are a leader, people looking up to you and they are see you how you actually do lead your own life, and that has to be a great example, because that's what they looking at or what they follow up. They don't always listening to your words, or you can't really just tell people what to do, but when they look at you and they see you striving, or they see your achievements, or they looking for advice or guidance, and when you can stay strong and give them the guidance and advice and be the leader for them, which actually brings them out of their their stuck energy, and then show them that what is possible. And sometimes people feel lost, and then they don't know which direction to go. So when they see someone is a leader and then help them overcome, that makes me a strong woman, basically, people to follow.
Wow, wow, I really like that. I really like that.
That was good.
I really like that. Thank you. Please, I want you to share. We're still need more people. I'm receiving some messages on my WhatsApp, but I want people to come on, like, to they are watching from YouTube and on Facebook. Please, I want you to come on Facebook more so that we can see all of us can see the test, not just on the phone. Who is your female role model and why?
What's the question?
Who
Who
is
is
your female role model and why? Do you have
Oh,
anybody that's inspire you, or somebody that push you, or somebody you look up to as a female model?
I have actually two,
Uh-huh.
and one of them is Elena Cardon. You you know Elena Cardon. She's the wife of Grant Cardon, and why I like her is because she actually represents that you don't need to be a business owner. You don't need to have your own work or like an occupation. You can still be proud of yourself being a wife, being a mother, and being the supporter of a husband, because many women is struggling, like, is it good enough just I am a mother, or is it good enough just me being a wife, and then people are gonna look down on me because I don't know do anything else. And she's standing strong for this, that yes, we are enough just being a mother or a wife, because that's also a huge responsibility, and you can make a huge difference in the world. So that's why I actually look up to her. And the other lady is Forbes Riley, and she's an actress and entrepreneur at the same time. So she's helping people also with self development. And I was happened to met her like back in 2020, and she made me a number one best-selling author. So I'm really grateful for her because she invited into her book as a co-author, and she really changed my life. And then the way how she leads her life, and then how she operates in her family dynamics is really lovely to see. And she's a big leader, and also a good example for women.
Well, Dr. Protection, what inspire you?
So mine is a wraparound. You know, I got to bring you biblical first. Mine is Anna from the Bible, and that's because I can
I
relate to
know
her
you like
boldness,
Anna.
being and being courageous, and just letting you know that you can go from being a widow and then just serve the Lord and still be blessed, or you can go from where people told you you couldn't do something because you was a woman, and you get that boldness and that courageousness, and you just go for it. And then physically in the United States of America, I would have to say Lisa Nicole. Why Lisa Nicole? Because we got to see her from a raw side. We got to see her telling you that you can take your story and tell the world about it and not be shamed for it, but actually catapult yourself to the next level by blessing someone with your story. Sometimes we really think that what we go through is for us, but it really isn't. It's supposed to be for you to be groomed in that situation and then tell that situation to someone else to help them get out. If we go through those
Absolutely.
situations, Anna from the Bible or Lisa Nicole, and we hold it to ourselves, then it's not a story that no one knows about. But if we're bold enough to speak of a thing and they get to see it, then that's what allows us to be like, you know what? Okay, I was a teenage mom. I did come from a small place in Lima, Ohio, but boy, don't we have some growth there? Don't we come from some good stock? And even though we went through those situations, but we talk about it, we're now able to bless somebody else. So if I had to say, it would be those two people because they're bold and that courageousness and that umph to just stand up and say, even though I went through all of this, in the midst of it, look what I have come through. Look what God has brought me through, and it took me to a whole nother level. And so I can relate to Anna in the Bible, and I can relate to Lisa Nicole, because you just go from something so crazy that you think you can't get out of, and then you're blessed out of it to now share with the world so that they can know that they can come out of whatever it is that they're in. So that's those
I
are the
like
two
that.
people that come to mind for me when I think about resilience, and I think about, somebody that I could say, I don't look up to anybody but God, but some people that I could say, oh yeah, she did that thing, and she did that thing with grace, and she did that thing with integrity, and that's good. I can relate to that, and that's all we're looking for. We're just looking for relatable things. We're looking for things that can make us strive to say, okay, I don't have to be scared to not tell my story. Why? Look at what she did,
Absolutely.
and now look how many lives she's changing. And that's what I get from that. That's what I get from somebody you look up to. It's a
I love
whole
that.
bunch of women, but those are just two of the main ones. And then of course we can all say Harriet Tubman. We can all say she pulled some folks out. Some people was like, I'm not going, and they was stuck in that one particular spot. But she was like, no, let me show you what it looks like when we get to the other side. So it's a whole bunch of women. But those are just some few that I can think about that makes me want to keep going because they've been through some stuff. And now look at, their legacy and look at their generations after them. So that's just what I get from who I can look up to, and or who I can see and identify myself with.
Well, I love that. I love that. There's something that I really want to ask that came to my mind when you were talking. There's always something that always make us to want to empower people or to be in the front or defending humanity. What have you been in a situation before that you feel like you are totally down, or you experience some kind of negative things that make that you are able to come up or bring you to the front line that yes, I want to stand for humanity. I want to stand for women. I want to stand for mother. Is that something that you feel like you are able to come out of? You understand what I mean? Maybe you have been into it and you couldn't come out, but later on you're able to stand. Yes, yes, I overcome the challenge. Now I want to stand for women out there that they have been in the same thing like me. Now I'm standing for them.
Hmm. We'll take that one.
Yeah, so there were a couple of situations when I felt like, I was down, and then I had to overcome, obviously, and heal from it, and then it's always made me stronger. So there was a couple of situations like that, and of course, as you were saying, that every time I came out the other side, I was like, yes, I need to share this, or I need to give it to the others because it was so powerful, or it was so amazing, and it was just like the transformation or the healing was so powerful that I want to show this to others because there are other people who's experiencing the same things. So definitely. And then there was a funny thing. Once I had a certain issue and then an illness, and then I healed from it. Like a couple of weeks later, a client came to me and then he was explaining me exactly the same symptoms about his mom. And then I told him, like, oh my God, this is the thing what I went through just a couple of weeks ago. So I know how to get out of it. And I was like, oh God, you put me in these shoes just to help this guy now. I mean, the mother of this guy, because it was just like so insane that just a couple of weeks later, he came to me with the same thing. So it's like, I believe that God see in some of us the power, the strength that we can be the one, like the trial, the guinea pig. Like, okay, let's put you in a really hard situation because you know that you can create the solution or you can create the results, and you will be able to actually even send this message to others. And that's, I think, that's how you also see who's a strong woman or who's the one who's chosen kind of for these kind of things, is the ones who's really put into tough situations, because then we come out of it, and yes, we are able to actually even spread that message, because that's not, I believe it's even though it's available to everybody, but not everybody take up the responsibility to do that. Because I've seen it so many times that I finished with a couple of other people with the same modalities or techniques, but I don't see them coming up and taking the responsibility to teach others or to help others the same way I do. And I just like feel blessed that I have this energy or is this drive, or it's just, it's like I feel like then it's probably my turn to do this and not theirs, because probably their path is different. So I believe that, yeah, the stronger people, the people who meant to make changes and bring in the solutions, they are actually put it into certain trials to see what else they can create, and bring into this world.
Well, what do you think, Doctor?
That was powerful.
It's absolutely powerful.
So for me, I would have to say the thing that made me change, the thing that made me, say I have to use my voice and I have to support a certain sector of people, was becoming a teen mom. Being a teen mom, people think that young girls are just out here and they're wild and they're just doing things that is causing them to become teen moms, and you don't really know the story or the background of it. So taking that and turning it into something positive, as far as saying, I will be their voice, I will be the advocate, I will be the one that supports and helps them get through this situation. I believe that is what has caused me to be in the position I'm in now, right? So just taking that situation and turning it into something positive by being something for somebody else, but letting them understand that I don't want them to see me in any of the support that I give. I want them to see God. I want them to see that He brought somebody that was a 16-year-old mom out of something and has transformed her into an advocate for the youth, has transformed her into creating a community center for the youth, has transformed her into just being the spokesperson for another teenage mom, right? And so every teenage mom's story is different. Some people were not trying to be
Absolutely.
teenage moms. They were raped or molested, or, parents were incarcerated. You just don't know the story. And so that's one of the biggest things. And then the second one was becoming an entrepreneur at a young age. There was a lot of trials and tribulations with, wanting to share your information so quickly to people and watching them either duplicate the services or turn you down or say you can't do it because you don't have loans or you don't have grants or you don't have money. And to be able to say, you know what, no, I'm going to set the tone that if God gives it to you and He puts it in you, it can happen. And so setting the tone in that space, allowing people to know, yes, the diversity could be there. People can turn you down at a young age trying to be an entrepreneur and say that you got to have a good credit score, you got to have money, you got to have, a certain amount of money saved up. I wanted to set the tone that if God gave it to you, He'll see you through it. And so that's what I
Absolutely.
did. I created a place where starting a nonprofit so young. I was young. I was in my early 20s and not getting grants or not getting loans or not going after certain things. He gave me a different way, and I was creating a childcare center. So yes, we go through trials and tribulations when we know that it's something we truly want to do. Yes, we go through trials and tribulations, but you can come out on the other side of that thing if God gave it to you. I really believe that if you have getting something from God, that He will see you through
Absolutely.
that thing because it's not yours in the first place. So that's what I get out of how did I turn my trials and tribulations into triumph? How did I say, okay, yes, I was a teenage mom, but I'm gonna help other teenage moms know that they can become something and they can be better than where they started, right? Yes, I was a young entrepreneur that didn't have my credit in line, that didn't have money in line, but God told me to do it, so I did it and it became prosperous. So I wanted to be that model that you can do it, but you just have to do it with perseverance and faith that God gave it to you to do it in the first place. So that's what I
Wow.
did with those challenges. I took those challenges and I made them a way to activate my faith. I made it a way to activate how the ones looking after me can say, you know what, she did that with little to no funding, and look at her nonprofit 20 years later. And it wasn't easy. It's still not easy. It's still some things we're trying to accomplish in our nonprofit. There's still some things I'm trying to accomplish as a mother and a wife and an entrepreneur and a grandmother. But because of my perseverance and because of I don't take no for an answer, I just keep moving.
Definitely.
And so that's what we have to do with those challenges is we have to hone in and keep moving and knowing that it will see itself through. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be next Friday, it might not even be next month. But if you keep moving, those challenges become a triumph. Those challenges become, I did that thing and I did it knowing that God told me to do it and I didn't waver from it. I didn't get on the string of the next wave of the next good idea. I stayed on my God ideas. And so as long as we do that, you're unstoppable. You could take any challenge
Love
and
that.
get yourself through it. But you just got to stay on your God ideas and not good ideas. That's all.
Absolutely. I really love that because a lot of women out there, both young and older women, even our age, some of them are still feeling like they still want to stay in the situation where they're going through, and they feel like, okay, is there any other way for them? Is there any opportunity for them? They don't want to even break the silence. So that's why I want people across the world who are listening to us to understand that we are also being in somewhere before, that we have been facing some challenges up and down. There's nothing that is maybe we
Absolutely.
just not come up just like this. So we've been through the pain, we've been through the sorrow, we failed in the business, we still rise up. We don't just sit down there. So that's why I asked that, why what do you have anything that make you, or you just decided to just be supporting women across the world, or you just feel it or have you been somewhere before, or does you been in kind of situation where you feel like, why am I here on the on the world? Why am I here at the first place? Why am I on the earth? There's some kind of challenge that you feel like, what am I doing here? And some people, we come we did not allow those pain or challenges to put us down. We did not allow to those things to feel like, yes, or looking at people there, what the people will say. A lot of women out there are thinking what other will say. I've been
Yes,
through
that's
this, or
good.
maybe I'm fortunately, maybe I found myself pregnant now as a young person. And some of people feel like, okay, maybe it's the end of the road. It's
You
not
have
end
to
of the
tap
road.
in. You have to tap into your faith. You have whatever that is for you. You have to tap into that and know
Absolutely.
that it is going to be days where you say, "Why are you doing this? Why am I doing this? Why
Hmm.
why did you choose me to do this? Oh Lord, why did I become a teenage mom? Oh Lord,
Absolutely.
it is things that you ask yourself on a daily basis. I know we're human, so especially women who have so many different roles and so many different titles. Just within your household, you have a lot of titles, right? And then you're going out into the community and you got more titles. So you
Hmm.
have to know, you have to pull into your faith. You have to understand
Absolutely.
why you are here and who you belong to. You have to
Hmm.
know that first and foremost before you can do anything else. So, every time I tell a client, when you are asking God, why are you asking, the higher being, whoever you serve, why?
Hmm.
That's a good question. But then that's a time for you to get down and dig deep into who you are and in the substance of your DNA to move you towards
Absolutely.
your next level. Because
Self-identification.
every level is a new level. So you have to know I was Cortisha here, I was Tisha Mama here, and I was Coach Tish here, and I was mom and
Mm,
wife here, but now I'm Minister Dr. Cortisha Cowan. What does that look like? Every
mm,
area of your life changes, and you have to know and identify with that next change. You have to know who you are involving into because I'm not Tish from
mhm,
20 years old. I'm not Tish from 30 years old, and I'm 44, and I'm not going to be Tish at 45 this May. So you have to
mm,
also know how to evolve and sometimes when to just rest and sit down. Sometimes it's not that you don't know or you're asking why. You can't get to
mm,
that next answer if you don't rest. You have to rest. You have to get into a place of consecration. You have to get into a place where if you are constantly asking God why, then you need to take a step back and rest and figure out what your next level is. You have to take that time
absolutely.
to really rebirth, as some of us call it, reset, as some of us call it. Whatever that is for you, you have to take that time. And I really believe for me, it was
Mm,
2022 to 2024. I really believe that even though I was going through grief and heartache, it was really a
mm,
reset for me. It was really a time to just rest and be like, okay, what you want next? Because it's a new life without parents, right? You
mm,
can't call them, you can't text them, you can't ask them things. So losing something that big, you really do have identity crisis. Okay, now who am I? Especially if you was a caretaker like me. What do you want me to do next? And so
mm,
that time of reset and resting so that you can know what that next level is. So I would tell any woman out there that if you are
mm,
asking that question on a daily basis, it might be time for you to just pull back for a second, no matter how uncomfortable it's going to be for other people. No matter if you're called lazy or you're called you just want to sit down or they're used to you being moving around and you shaking and moving about. That's if it's a season of rest for you, you have to be okay with that. So sit back and take that moment to really rest so you can find out what your
mm.
next level is because you're no good to nobody else if you don't even know why you're here, right?
I love it.
And mental health is really running rampant in our community right now. Sometimes I really don't think it's a mental health issue. I think it's a reset issue. It's just sitting down and degressing, letting your mind get all of that out, right? And our holistic therapist
Absolutely.
can tell us about it, right? Ms. Kinson, they have to just
Yeah.
take some time to rest, right? So you can
Yes,
take
you
Mm,
know
a
why?
step back
It's
and you can
also
just
because
rest.
that's the time when you listen, because you
Yes.
were saying like you asking God, you asking, but as you are loud and speaking and asking, you don't listen. So you need to sit back
Mm,
and
yes,
listen,
listening.
and that's when you get the answers you are looking for. And then you were saying that yeah, we need to reset and adjust. Yes, because there is the striving time and there is the growth time, and the growth time is when we need to adjust and we need to reflect and find how is the next step for the next neighbor. And then so many people is questioning like, what's my purpose, what's my purpose? But
Mm,
whatever you do right now, it's one of your purpose, and then your next level is your next purpose. So it's not always just one thing for the whole lifetime. It
that's
could
real
be
good.
different things in the different level, as you were mentioning, Cortesha, about the all
The
kinds of
levels, the
titles
next
you,
levels,
yeah,
yeah. Each
and the
level is
titles
something
you
different.
fulfilling, yeah. So
Yeah,
I don't, I feel like people are too much stressing about what's my purpose, what my purpose, although they are already in one, they are already
that's
sitting in one of their
good.
purpose. They're just looking for the next one, and then for the next one, they need to accept the change. They need to accept to adjust and change and listen. What is the next one? Yes. And in this hustle culture, you don't allow yourself to rest because you are hustling, hustling, and then you don't listen. Yeah.
That's
Wow,
real
I love
good. Listening,
love
listening,
that.
taking some time to listen. That's real good. That's real good.
Hmm. That's very good. That's very good. Wow, let me go to the next question. I love that. I love that. What challenges have you faced as a woman and how do you overcome them? What are the challenges you face as a woman and how do you overcome them?
My biggest challenges were when I was working 9 to 5, and then I had to have time for my little children, and I felt always guilty and then I felt always overwhelmed and exhausted. Like, okay, I was at job, I was on the pressure and stressed, and then I came home from work, and I was like, I wanted to spend with my kids, but I had to have dinner. We had to do homework, and that wasn't really like authentic time together because that was like a
Mm,
duties. And then it was already nighttime. And with the weekend, I felt again exhausted and tired from the week. So I couldn't be a fully present for them. And that was my biggest challenge to like what to do now. And then actually I quit my 9 to 5 because I chose them. I was like, I need time with them. I want to get to know them. I want to understand them, what they're going through. I'm gonna miss out everything if I'm working all the time. So that's what I chose. Like everybody has a choice, and I know some people choose work, and then it's enough for them how much time they spend with their children. But for me, it was my choice basically to choose them and experience more time with them, absolutely, and then having more freedom with my work, and then how I spend my time basically.
wow.
That's real good. My biggest challenge,
So that's awesome.
truly, my biggest challenge is, as a woman, is just having compassion so much that you don't
Hmm.
know when to turn it off. That's my
Yeah,
biggest challenge is everyone that come to me with a problem, you want to
you
solve
want
it,
to.
right? Because we're nurturers by heart. And so that's even with my clients, that's with my husband, that's with my kids, my grandkids, my family members. So my
Yeah.
challenge, that's a huge challenge for me as a woman, which is why this season I'm spending a lot more time fasting and praying and just talking to God about how to use my mind in some areas and not my heart, and then how to use my heart in some areas and not my mind. And that was one of them. And then what Miss Kiss said, our children, being an entrepreneur early in life, trying to balance being a mom and a wife and still coming to the rescue for the community or for my nonprofit or for my childcare center. As a
Mm,
childcare owner, you have to be so many roles. And so being able to be who I needed to be for everybody is a big challenge.
absolutely.
And I believe
Mm,
that's for most women. We just wear so many hats and we have so many titles that we try our best to over exceed all of them. And for me, I overperform. Even when I'm writing policies or whatever I'm doing, I'm overperforming. And so that's my challenge. My challenge as a woman is just really always listening to someone and seeing how I can support or help, and sometimes overextending what I shouldn't be. And so that's been the biggest challenge for me.
So
As a
basically, you need to learn how to set your boundaries, right?
yes,
like how to say no to
yes.
something.
I need a T-shirt that says "I'm setting boundaries all 2025." Don't ask me a question until
Absolutely.
I'm done. Discovering that.
I think many of us are like that. I personally, one of my challenges is that I wanted to be there for everybody. And
Mhm.
sometimes when you are there with everybody, you feel like you can solve the problem all, and some of them will take it for granted,
Yep.
you know. And in Africa, in Europe, everywhere, it's always like that.
Yep.
And sometimes you feel like I feel like oh my god, maybe I'm so esteeming, like too much open the boundary. Maybe I still have to put some limits, but because of the passion and the love you have for people, you still want to open the door, which is not good because we are hurting ourselves. I'm hurting myself at the same time. I think maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm still working on that.
Yeah. I believe that's our that's a, I
It's
think that's
really
a woman's
hard. It's
problem,
really hard
period. We just
because you feel
always
like
wanting
what
to
you've
help
been
people.
through, you don't want
Yes.
somebody else to go through it,
Just
the
want to
same
help.
thing. And some who are, you feel like, okay, this person is going through the same thing as you have been through, and you are trying to look for, okay, let me find solution for somebody like this. And the person come to you, and you feel like, okay, I want to help you. Can I do this for you? You know, something like that. You help the person, the person get the wings, and you use the same wings to buy them, something like that. And some of the challenges also I do face personally. I face I'm looking for a way to be able to say no sometime, like, okay, can you help me for something? Maybe you should try to think about yourself in a little way, not to be greedy, but to be able to think that, if can you do it, is it not going to affect you? Or are you totally free to do such of a thing? Think about your time, think about your children, think about yourself, something like that a little bit. But sometimes I would, okay, I'm coming, I just want to go and help someone, let me quickly go. And when you come, like, oh my God, why did I go there? Something like that. So that's one of the challenges. But at the same time, we just have to, we have the passion, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, Edith?
Yeah, it's the same thing, like as you were saying, if I can, why not, right? So I always, like, when people asking me, like, why you do so many things, or why you do this or that, it's like, because I can. So if I can, I go, I provide, I serve, I help, on my conditions, and then on the way how I can. So it's all about that. Is your is our choice, basically, what we want to put ourselves into. And I always say people to be a yes man, because then you get into so many experiences, and we grow through experiences, and then you learn so many things. But I also have to tell you that recently I started to say no's, and it's interesting because I went through so many challenges that I learned from them, obviously. And then I also realized that I have to set boundaries, and I also realized that I can't spread my energy. I really
Yeah,
need to see
absolutely.
whose I need to invest energy in, because everybody is taking granted, or everybody's like wants your light or wants your energy. So no, I'm really like looking just like who is the quality people around me who's really
That's so
deserving, like,
good.
to spend the time with, because some people do not deserve your help, because they
Oh,
just
that's so good.
Absolutely.
hanging out and
Absolutely.
just taking your energy and time. So yeah,
Very well
exactly.
done.
I feel both of you, what you were saying, I feel the same way, that we need to set boundaries. We need to be more conscious about, like, how this situation or how this action is impacting my future, what's the consequences to getting into certain situations. But yeah, absolutely, we just need to be more conscious, basically, and more looking out for ourselves as well. Yeah.
That's real
Very
good.
true.
I mean, that's really good. I just want to piggyback off of that for a second, because we all keep saying the same thing when it comes to being a woman. We don't know how to tell people no, or we overextend our time, or we hear a sad story and we just want to help. But
Mm-hmm.
what I've been learning, I'm reading this book with a group of powerful women, Drawing the Circle. Pastor Mark, I love his Circle Maker book. So we're doing the Draw the Circle journal. And one of the days I told them in the book, it is basically saying, um, are you overextending yourself, basically? And is they seeing you or God? Is they seeing you or God when you say yes or no? So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we do things for people and they see us. But I was just telling my daughter, even if I give you $5, if I'm your mom and I give you the $5, I don't want you to see
mm,
mom in this season. I want you to see that God gave my mom enough income to be able to sow the $5 to me. Don't see me. And so I think that's
mm,
another thing that I'm using this year is instead of saying yes to everybody, or instead of being on everybody's platform, or instead of being on everybody's podcast, or when I get a client that says, I need these policies, but I only can pay you 5,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, sticking with what God said my price is in this season, and you're just not called to me right now. So I really believe if we get to a place where, like you said, I can say no and be okay with that no, it's meaning that God will get the glory out of it. They have to understand that we didn't say no because we don't like you. We didn't say no
no,
because we just don't want to do it. We said no because it's not our season to say yes to you right now. Or we may have said yes to you in the past and deposited so much into you, and we didn't see the return on that investment. So we just have to know that a no is really a gracious maybe later. That's why I have to keep telling myself, you could tell them no. It might be a gracious later, right?
yeah,
And I think that's what we need to learn as
mm,
women right now is that we don't have to say yes to everybody. We don't have to say yes to everything. And we're definitely not here to help everybody. Everyone is not called to our voice. They're not called to our platforms. They're not called for us to coach. They're not called for us to love on in this season or to support. And we just got to be okay with that because, like you said, Miss Kids, we have this jump rope where we're tugging with, do we tell them yes or no? And we're depleting ourselves in the process. So this year, that's what I'm learning to do. I'm learning to just say, okay, God, is this me or you? Am I saying yes, or did you tell me to say yes? And it's starting to help me. It's been
absolutely.
blessing me. It's only on day 7, but it's been blessing me, and I'm so grateful to see what this 40 days will bring because I was such what you just said, Miss Kiss. I was such the yes girl. I was yes to everybody at every time for every situation. I gave so many yeses last year that I had to end up going back and saying no, and I don't like to go back off of my word. And so I had to understand that's because I was just saying yes because I wanted to say yes. And it wasn't really
Wow,
God telling me to say yes. So that was so
very
good.
true.
I'm glad you said that.
I love that. Is Eddie want to add something to it?
Mm,
Yeah, that was good.
Okay,
I think that was
let's go
real
to the
good.
next challenges and our trophy. What challenges have we faced as a woman? And okay, we talk about it. What is your greatest achievement as a woman, and how and what make it possible?
Hmm. Got some good
I love
ones.
that. Mhm.
My
What
first
is
one is
your
my
greatest
children and my
achievement
husband and
as
my
a woman,
grandkids.
and what make it possible? Because
Yeah,
you
that's
are powerful women, because you stand, you never fail. I'm not you never fail, but you never allow the situation or the challenges to bring you down.
mm,
You keep
yeah.
on facing it, and you keep on falling, and you pick up standing. You never
Mine is
disappoint
just
yourself.
I really believe it's perseverance. I really believe
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I hit a lot of milestones at 44 years old. Even being a young girl, and my cousin called me the other day and said, "Cuz you really are the reason I know God." And she said, "I just want to
Mm,
ask you the question on how did you tell us about God so early? We were kids. You were making us
mm,
stand up in the church and sing at 7 and 8 years old. You were making us learn songs, and we couldn't go outside and play until we played church. So there's so many times as a woman that you can even go back as a young child and say, wow, you impacted people then, so it's so many times that even in the midst of challenges, I know that I was an impact to others. Even when I didn't think I was going to see myself through something, someone would call and say, oh my God, you just said this to me through a text and it blessed my heart. And they don't know I'm on the other end of that call grieving, or trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my next bill, or what I'm going to do with the next thing that I got that I'm working on, right? But in the midst of that, there's so many things that came good from that came good from just pushing through your pain to help somebody else. So it's so many that you can list them all. I mean, we all got bios that just talks about who we are as women, but I would just have to say the greatest one of all is just getting that. text message or that phone call of someone saying you poured into them and it blessed them. You know, it's better than an award. It's better than any of those other things to just get someone to say, you got me through a situation, and me knowing that it was God that deposited into me to do for them is one of the things that I would say when I look at my awards. My awards is
Wow.
just being a vessel for God and serving Him
Mm,
to the complete capacity that I can, and knowing that it's blessing someone even in the midst of what I'm going through.
wow. I love that.
That's what I would say right now when it comes to my rewards.
Wow. Eric, what do you think?
Yeah, so for me, the achievement is I always was a goal setter. I always was a go getter. Like I always had plans. I always was like, what's the next achievements I need to reach or what? But I was always following my intuition. So I always following a guidance, like my heart or my vision. So I always had vision and I followed my vision through. And I think that was actually shocked people around me that I was just like going, places where they never been or they never imagined I could go. So it's going places and following my vision. I think that was my biggest achievement, and currently it is like people see me like going through and reaching one my dreams, my visions. I remember like in my even in my teenage years, I was telling all of my dreams. I was making a list, and then people came to me a couple of years later smiling, and they said, how are you going with your dreams? And then, do you still a
Wow.
dream? Are you still a dreamer? And I was like, yeah, I'm making them true. So, they are like thought me as a dreamer, but actually I am a visionary who's achieving my visions, and going through all of the steps I need to go through. And I'm writing a book about it now to
Mm,
show people like what steps, if I look back, like what steps I actually took or how I achieved what I achieved, all the labors or all the goals I achieved, and I think it's important to see that there are certain things you can do to actually fill the gap between your current situation and your next labor, because there is a gap there, and it's easy to fill it if you know how to. So that's what I'm actually writing about, and to help people to follow their vision and achieve their vision, basically.
That's good.
wow.
That's real
That's
good.
very good. Wow.
Real good.
Then my next question is, how do you balance work and personal life as a woman? How do you balance
Mm.
work and personal life as a woman? How do you do that? Do
I
some
really feel
women
like I just I
balance
balance
personal
life.
life?
I
Yeah.
really believe I balance life by allowing God to be write my plans out. I feel like when I write them out myself, um,
Mm-hmm.
I put too much on me, right? But if I go throughout this life and allow Him to adjust it or to set it, then I'm doing better. So people say, balance work life play. The only day I can say I give totally to myself is Fridays. I tell people when they text me, I don't work. It's faith, fun, family, or friends. If we ain't doing that, I don't call my phone. So that's the best balance I can do. And then my team knows Mondays is Mothers Helping Mothers. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it could be anything. It could be meetings, it could be my family, it could be
Mm-hmm.
coaching. But everybody knows that Friday is faith, fun, family, and friends. And then of course the weekends, none of us work. So I think that balance really became important to me more in the last 3 years than it has ever been before, because I'm just like Kiss, I'm a goer. I go, 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 go. And I feel like moving to Georgia, I had to slow down because this traffic is crazy. And who wants to sit in 2 hour traffic? So I think I created balance even just within that. But to be able to balance life and entrepreneurship as a mother and a wife and a grandmother, this next decade of my life is really for them. And so that balance is more family, less work. And I'm just really sticking to that. More family, less work. Because if
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to do something for you, then it'll get done. But if I'm not, I'm okay with that as well. Right. So I really believe that work life balance stuff went out the window for me a long time ago. And it's more just family oriented because I was doing this entrepreneurship stuff in my early 20s, and now my daughter is 20 something. My youngest is 21. My oldest is 28. So that just tells you that when they were growing up, I was go, 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 go. And so now
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying adult children and grandchildren. And my grandchildren won't see what my
I don't
children
know what
saw,
I'm gonna have grandchildren.
moving, shaking grandmother. They're not going to see that. They're going to see a hands on
Wow.
grandmother, right? So that's my new work life balance. It's truly,
Mhm.
I'm okay with if I don't do nothing for nobody right now, and I'm doing it for my family. That's where I'm at in life.
I
That's
love
my new
that.
work life balance.
Over to you, Edith. What do you think?
I am the person who's going with the flow and looking for like what feels right or what feels good. And is
Mm,
some days are I'm just a go-getter, and then I'm doing live, and then I'm doing classes and doing sessions. But there are some times when I feel like, okay, I'm meditating today a lot, or sometimes I feel like I want to cook. Sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm gonna order food because I don't want to cook. So I allow myself to make the decision from how I feel, at that certain
That's
point,
good.
and that's my work-life balance to actually give me that freedom to decide that what I want to put my energy into and what I want to work on. Sometimes as I said, I don't want to work on that day. Usually my Saturday is the day when I just rest, because it's like after the 5 days of working and stuff. So I like Saturday's rest, but Sunday I already like to work because that would be too boring for me having 2 days off. So it's like I like to be busy. I like to do things. So usually the Saturday that's when I'm like a bit slowing down, and spending more time with myself and not pushing myself too much. But the rest of the week is usually I like to be present and doing things and helping people basically.
well, I love that. To me, I have give time. I feel like I've give time to everything at the same. Like I have my children like every year before, and I took my time to be with them. I took my time to be with them, and before I started traveling, like going to Africa, moving across, I've always been telling my kids that there will be a time that mommy will be going across the world. Mommy have to do this. Mommy have to do this. But this is the time that you need mommy most. So take what you need. You know, every like prayer session, how to be able to be on your own, how to defend as being an African Finnish person, be in Europe, all the stuff. So born there at the same time, I make sure that they are able to take the positive side of the Western country. You know, don't take
That's
everything, but the
good.
positive side, and make sure that that the the foundations about Christ of what we believe. Oh, I know she is. She's a wonderful woman. She is. She is a wonderful woman. She is. Thank you so much. Thank you. We recognize her. She is.
Oh,
She's a wonderful
thank you,
woman. God bless
Danielle.
you for that.
I love
God bless
her.
you for that. Thank you so
I
much.
have
She
I have a
is.
lot of extended daughters since I started my nonprofit. She's one of many that see me as a mom for the rest of my life. Right, her and her two daughters. I love her. Yeah,
Wow.
thank you,
I love that.
Danielle. Hi, Miss Tamika. Sister Dr. Tamika is the one. Thank you for joining us. Um,
I
this is really,
saw
really
Sister
good. This is
America.
really, really
Thank you
good.
for joining. God bless you.
Yes.
My next question is, what is the okay? How do you okay? We talked about that already. What do you think is the most significant barrier to women's equality, and how can we overcome it?
So, what did you say? Equality.
I say, what do you think is the most significant barriers to women's equality, and how can we overcome it? What is the barrier? What are the barrier, and how can we overcome it? The equality,
You get that,
Equality
Lucas.
between women or equality with men, or how do you mean equality between
not
us?
totally being a man. So some things that I believe that a woman can do. Let me give you an example. Even though some women in our society at working place, they're still feeling the barrier there. It's still there, even though we are still not talking about it. I still feel that it's still there. Some things they will say, no, she's a woman, she cannot do it. Is
Mm,
there in the Western
okay.
country? Is there in Africa? They're like she's a woman. Some people feel like Okay, sit down there because she's a woman.
That
Yes,
takes us
basically,
back to honor.
So
Biblically, it takes you back to honor.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
being
that makes me
bold.
feel like you can't do some working things, you can't practice, or you can't be in some area, especially some of the places in Africa that they think like maybe a woman shouldn't be preaching, a woman
Okay.
shouldn't be a leader as a president or governor. Many people don't will not want to vote for women.
Oh, okay.
So if like,
Now
oh,
we
it's
get
a
what you're
woman, she
saying.
cannot be. So what are the things, or what are the things do you think that we can see as a barrier for equality, and how can we stop it, or to even if we are not able to stop it 100%, and we can push it to 99? How can we bring that barriers to break it down?
Mm,
actually, maybe what I'm gonna say is gonna be a bit shocking, but
Absolutely.
I believe that there are obviously some traits of men which we don't embody, obviously. So, and that is like the men can be more focused on one thing, right? So, because of that, they can gain more success in certain areas, and
Mm-hmm.
because of that we can feel that we are unable to achieve those kind of labels in certain work, because we don't have kind of work ethic. But it's not work ethic, it's how our brain works. So our brain is wants to focus on so many things because we need to focus on many things at the same time, and we can't focus on just one thing. So when we're talking about leadership, or when we're talking about like a president, being a president or a leader, probably that requires more focus. It requires more of the structure, the things what a masculine energy is more capable of, and their brain is made for that. They were hunters. When we were created in the human body, man was created to hunt. So they were focusing on one thing, hunting. And then the woman was created to take care of the children, cooking, take care of the plant, everything. So we were created to take care of many things, while the man was focusing on one thing, to provide. So I believe that we shouldn't be the ones to say like, oh, we can do what you do, or we can be a same good leader as you are. I think we should work together. We should put the energy together and have two leaders, a woman and a man together. Like used to be the king and queen. Like, or that kind of situation. Because what the man is capable, the woman might not, and what the woman is capable, the man not. So we should put together the two energy, the two. Uh, that's why we are a couple, like the traits of like having a president as a woman and a man too, like a couple, and help and support each other, because the woman's compassion, the woman's understanding, the woman's is needs to be there, and then also we need the man who's more focused, more structured, and have a different perspective, and that's how I believe it would be the best way to lead. But I don't know if it
so
happens.
that was real good, but I'm gonna come from a different. We keep tag teaming each other, but
Okay.
it's good. This is so juicy. So I'm gonna come
What do
from
you
a
think?
different perspective. I'm coming from the perspective of like she said, Africa and the United States. There's things that they say women shouldn't do or couldn't do or won't do, and I just go back to Anna from the Bible. She just bold and courageous and said she'll do what she needs to do, which was stay on her post and tell everybody about Jesus, right? So for me, I believe that women are called to do what we can do. I believe that God has given us skills to do certain things, right? And in those skills, we can do them, whether the man thinks that we can't or not. That's where advocacy comes in at. That's where becoming you step into your arena. So if you are in advocacy, for me, teenage mothers and young children are is an advocacy role for me. Some people might say we're called to do that, but then we're not called to go into the juvenile centers and do certain things, or we're not called to be judges, or we're not called to be. No, we're called to be whatever God called us to be, but you just got to be an advocate in that space. You got to dominate that space so they can stop saying you're not called to that space, because really we are. It's just how much fear you're going to put into what they said. They say we shouldn't run for presidency, but we do. They say we shouldn't, be in the pulpit, but it's the most powerful women in the pulpit. So it just depends on how far you're willing to take it on advocacy, how far you're willing to stand. This is Women History Month. We fought to get this month. Why? Because as we said at the beginning of this, we are so many titles. And yes, play your role. If I'm at home, I'm a wife. I'm not a husband, I'm a wife. So you're right, Miss Kiss, we gotta play our role. Our role is to
Mhm.
be together, is to work unitedly. So it's not that I can stand at the White House yard and I can't have my male counterpart stand there. We should be standing there together because unity is
Absolutely.
best. Unity stops arguing. Unity stops you from stressing out. Unity stops the other people from seeing us that we can't work together. But there is some things that we have to fight to say we're good at. We have to say yes, we can do that. And Women's Month is one of those. We had to fight to say we
Absolutely.
deserve a month for us because we're all things for all people, and we have to be able to stand up and say so. So I think it's
Mhm.
really that perseverance, that resilience, and that strength that we bring to the table to say I can stand in this position because I have trained, I have worked, I have studied myself approved, and so I deserve to stand here. Whatever arena that is for you, the church arena, the corporate America arena, the community, the household,
Businesses.
if you are supposed to be in that arena, stand up and be bold and courageous and know that you were sent there for a reason. So yes, I really believe
Absolutely.
there's times and seasons where we're the helpmate and we have to stand next to the man, but there's also seasons where God has opened up a door for us to be able to walk through and be in that environment, and we should be bold enough to stand there. We should be courageous enough to stand there. We should speak highly enough to stand there. We should talk with grace and talk. We ain't saying go in there and be all. No, go in with grace and go in knowing that God put you in that space. We're not trying to remove the men. We're just trying to let them know that we can stand in that same space and wear our heels. For me, it's tennis shoes now. I'm 44, my feet be hurting. So whatever it is, stand in that space and stand knowing that that's where God placed you. And I don't want it. I'm
Absolutely.
just like the kids. I don't want them to
Yes,
say, "Oh, they don't
I love
belong there.
what the
Oh,
sister
they
said,
don't go
Katina.
there." No, we do belong there. We God opened that door for us to be able to go in there. The Olympics, we're blowing it out the water right now as women. You know, the courthouses, legislation, we're blowing it out the house. We're not trying to take over, but sometimes He moves us up, and then sometimes it's the men that's supposed to support us and gird us
Mm-hmm.
up and pray over us and let us be great in that space. So yes, we got kings and queens, and I love them. But some areas they need
Absolutely.
the queen to be at the head, and some they need it to be the king. And right now, we just got to dominate the spaces that God put us in.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
believe that,
go
you
back
know,
to that
when
book real quick. Journal like a journalist. Whatever you write down and make it plain to yourself, journal it so that you can walk into that space right now. Whatever it
Absolutely.
is that you're supposed to be doing, walk into it with boldness and
yeah, I
courage.
believe that if you have a vision, I believe if you have the vision, if you can see
Yeah,
it, then you of course you can walk it, right? That's true.
absolutely.
Like, but that
Absolutely.
not everybody has, you know, big vision. You Everybody has their own vision because you were placed here to do your own life, right? So
Absolutely.
just step into your own vision and walk that, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's good.
I would like
Absolutely.
to advise some family because a lot of women that I used to talk to, some of them are feeling like maybe because they are married, they couldn't get to where they wanted to be. Like maybe the husband was feeling like, okay, if you be a doctor, like maybe you are more bossy, like maybe you are, not bossy as a woman, but to feel like you are more on, like you are more higher than the husband. A lot of them are feeling that like it's not supposed to be like that. But I'm trying to talk to them that I feel like women as a helpmate is like it's when whatever you give a woman will multiply it.
Absolutely. We'll
If you
dominate the
give a woman
space.
some, it's going to bring up the baby. If woman is like a land, whatever you plant on the woman as a land, you get multiple of it. If you plant a small corn, you get a big corn out of it, like a lot of it. If you plant a seed of apple, you get a lot of apples coming out of it. That is why the Lord, the Bible said that woman is a helpmate. Woman is representing Holy Spirit that help you to direct something. Because man, whenever they think about, I'm going to build a house, they think just in one way, like they're focusing on it. I want to build a house this year. But a woman can say, I'm going to bed, I'm going to do my birthday, 50 years birthday this year. I'm going to do my, I'm going to get a new shop. I'm going to build another business. I'm going to pregnant this year. I want to have, something like that. You can have like 5, 10 things at the same time.
Yes,
And
we do.
a man can do such everything. It does not mean like he is weak. He's not a weak, he's a strong man. But a woman is an helper to help you to arrange,
That's good.
support. How do you want to do this? Okay, my husband, you wanted to build house. Okay, how can, if you give a woman trouble, it will give you times two of troubles at the same time. A lot of people don't understand that. So I'm just want to everybody who's watching us here, especially the people I'm here with. I saw Katina say the man has the seed we made things grow. That is it. The man have the seed that will make it grow. If you give a woman the 1 billion euro today, a woman will make sure something solid come out of it. A woman will look for how can I invest this to make it more bigger than what we have before. So I don't want a man, I don't want, I'm trying to advise, I'm not saying that woman is totally equal the way people are thinking that maybe women are bossy. They're not equal with a man, but we are supporting each other like an helpmate. So a woman could be doctor does not mean a woman is over the man. A woman can be president does not mean that a woman is over her husband. So give her a chance because you never know what the future is going to take. Maybe a man is let me say a businessman. Suddenly the business can be collapsed. So if your wife does not have anything doing, how are you going to be supporting the family? Something is wrong there. So push, make your wife be, let me say, like your business, something that you are investing on that will multiply something, a lot of things back to you. So when you invest on your wife, automatically you are going to get many out of it, a profit out of it. That's why I always say husband and wife should be like a friend, more, let me say much than friend. Where the Bible said that let us create a man in our own image. As many people believe in the Bible that is the bone, it's not the bone. It's every female of Adam was separated. So can you allow your hand to be cut off of your body? It's not possible. So woman and husband and wife should look at themselves as the same person. So whatever I have is for my husband. Whatever I have is for my wife. So they work together as a team. They build the family together and they achieve all the profit out of it together. So never look down on your wife, never look down on your husband. Just act as we are the same. I think it's fine, right? What do you think, Edith?
Yeah, it's beautifully said, and then it's absolutely right. We need to respect each other. We need to
Mm-hmm.
help each other to grow and support each other all the time. And yeah, and then it's like when you have someone next to you who's actually that kind of person, who's like knows how to support you, how to lift you up, then you are just more capable for more things, because you are raising your vibration is high, you are in good mood, you are in because you are actually also passionate, you also having good energies, then obviously you strive better, you create better, you do your life better. And then if you have someone next to you who's actually toxic, who's actually not helping you to grow, who is talking against you, and then who's criticizing you, who's pushing you down, then it's lowering your vibration. It can make you sick,
Self-esteem.
physically. So many people can get physically sick because their partner is manipulating them or controlling them, and not allowing them to grow or be who they want to be. And then and it's also not supporting them, because they are being in that controlling energy. They're not allowing to grow together. Then it's bad for everybody. Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'm
Thank you
a
so
second
much.
that. I'm agreeing with that. If you have someone that pushes you and supports you and cover you, then you'll do great. You'll multiply. You have somebody
Absolutely.
that's toxic or pouring out negativity on a daily basis, it will shrink you and make you want to just sit in one spot. But I second that. If you have somebody that's pushing you, you'll go far. And so you just have to. I feel
Love
like
it.
you have to surround yourself with a tribe of people that can push you as well. Like you can get it at home, but also having a tribe of people that can push you as well. So this is really really good. We're not trying to take away from our kings, our men. We're not. We're even covering our men and boys in this hour for the entire year. My sisterhood is so we love them, but we also need them to be in a position to let us thrive the way we're supposed to thrive. That's all we're asking for as women is to allow us to thrive in the spaces and places that God has called us to thrive in. That's it.
Hmm.
And the
I
world will
love
be a
that.
better place.
Me too. I want my husband to be the king. Of course, he is the king. I want to be the queen. Something like that. Like, yes, that's my husband. That's the king. Whenever
Yes.
a man go to somewhere like let me say like it's an event or ceremony, a man will introduce himself. Yeah, I'm Mister. A woman will come. I'm Mrs. So so so. I'm the wife of something like that. It's a
Yeah.
pride for a man to know that yes, that's my
Hmm.
crown. That's my queen. Something like that. So
Yeah.
I feel like there should be understanding in marriage that will make everything
Absolutely.
happen.
Absolutely.
Well, I love that. We're great. I hope everybody is learning and we are talking to what people want us to say. My next question is, how have you used your voice to make a positive impact in your community?
Mm. We kind of touched on that earlier. For me, it was being
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
team mother and advocating for teen moms, being a teen mother and advocating for teen moms. It was, starting entrepreneurship in my early 20s and people saying that your credit got to be a certain way and that your bank account had to look a certain way and advocating that there could be a different norm if you really did it based off of God and the Holy Spirit. He will see you do it. Yes, as a business coach, I tell them financially, your foundation needs to be strong, but don't be
Mm-hmm.
discouraged if God has given you something and you don't have
Absolutely.
your ducks in a row when it comes to finances. So I really believe that is the advocating that I've been able to do the last 2 decades is just allowing women to show up for themselves and know that if God told you to do it, He will see you through it. Because starting
Yeah.
a nonprofit organization, I was young. Like I said, it's 20 years this October, and I'm only 44. So that tell you how long I've been doing it, right? So you just
Wow.
have to do it. Sometimes you just have to do it. So I really believe that I've been
Mm-hmm.
an advocate to help women birth out a business with just that idea and watch them flourish. And I've watched them years and years flourish in these industries. So being an advocate for the youth and for teenage mothers and women that are trying to fight to get their kids back, I really believe that's what God called me to do. I wasn't a teenage mom for myself. And I recognized that at an early age that I wasn't a teen mom for myself. My mom used to say it all the time. You really have had mothers of mothers longer than that. Rest her soul. She would be like, you was giving out clothes when you were in high school to kids and babies. And so I've always had it, but I really believe that's what God called me to do in this hour is to really just support and advocate for women and children. In this hour, we need it more than ever, and that's what I really believe that I do.
Wow. Thank you so much. My two questions that remain, I know we're going to talk about it so much because I feel like, you know, we have been in the front page, we have been in the front line, we have been facing different challenges, we have been up and down, we have trophy, we have award, we have all this. Have you ever experienced doing all these things we're doing or doing our the work we are doing, like empowering women and make sure that the community is okay or around us, whatever we're doing? Have you ever think like I can't anymore. My strain is gone.
Hmm.
You feel like
Absolutely.
it's
That was
over.
me 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I
Katina's
feel
on
like,
here.
oh my God, my
Yeah.
strength. Sometimes you feel like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I don't have strength. My
Mhm.
strength is over. I am.
Yes.
I can't.
Yes. Absolutely. But then you got to just get back up, as we talked earlier.
That you just
And
have to give it like,
you
oh
have to just
God,
get back up.
if
Hmm.
you don't do it, I can't. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Always. Come on, therapist, help us out.
Yeah,
Katina
so
said
let's
no.
come to
Yes, there are
a
time of challenge because every day is not. butter and sugar. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just like, oh my God, I'm done. I think I can't.
It's interesting because how it comes to me is like one part like we have many columns in how can I say, many parts of our life, like there is the relationship, there is the business, there is the health, there is, and for me it's like one of them is down, the other is off. So I never like completely down. If I, for example, have difficulties in one area, I have the other one like great and still keeping me happy and joyful. And it's just like, okay, that thing is doesn't work right now, so I should do something about it. But the other thing is like still keeping me up happy and going forward. And I had a bit of struggle around August when I was thinking to revamp
Mm,
or change my business structure, and I was just there, and I was thinking and I was crying, and then there was people coming to help, support. But then eventually the big sign was coming from God, who
mm,
sent me to someone who actually showed me like, you need to continue what you were doing. You don't
That's
you
good.
don't need to change. You shouldn't change because that's your past. Because I was
yeah.
thinking to change. And then they were like, nope, you need to do what you're doing, you just need to go to the next level. So it's actually
Mm,
brought me to the next level, and I was like, wow. So I always think about the situation when you don't know what to do, when you don't know how to move on. It's like you just
mm,
need to be open to receive the God's, signs, basically. And I always remember back when I was watching the movie The Prince of Egypt with Moses. And then what happened is that God was sending Moses to the Pharaoh to, to tell him to do this and that, otherwise you're gonna get into trouble. And then the Pharaoh was just laughing and saying, I'm not doing anything. So Moses was discouraged, like, okay, I didn't solve the problem. So he went back to God and said, I couldn't do anything, it didn't help. And God said, okay, just sit back and watch. So that's the
mm.
thing, that when we don't know what to do, when we don't know how to solve this, we just need to sit back and watch, and then eventually the solution will come.
That's
Wow, I
good.
love that.
Great
What
perspective.
do you think, Dr.
Absolutely.
Kotesia?
She that's why I called on her. you see you see my person in the chat saying, surrender. That's been my thing is, when you do this for so long and you see the impact, but then you also see the negative side of stuff. Funding is not where you want it to be. Things are just not lining up. Sometimes you be like, okay, I'm done. I know we're going on 20 years this year, and I keep saying maybe this is
Mm,
where, Mother Stuff Mothers end. This is maybe where we stop. Our nonprofit, this is, how far we're going to go. And then, like you said, someone comes and say, no, you got to keep going. Why? Because this person needs you, or that person needs it, or that person needs it. And so you
absolutely.
get someone that will come and just redirect your thought and be like, no, you are doing a good thing. Keep going at this. Keep going at this, sister. You're
Mm-hmm,
doing a good thing. So yes, we are having moments. We're going to have moments. Losing my mom, I really thought I was going to be done. But
mm,
remembering her say, I don't care what else you don't do, you better not stop doing Mothers of Mothers. And she said it with that stern mother voice,
mm-hmm.
because she know the impact that Mothers of Mothers has on people. She know the impact it has on these moms and babies. And so we do say we're done. I just said it 4 weeks ago. I'm like, okay, yep, by my birthday in May, I'm done. I just want to travel. I just want to support my friends and be there for my grandkids and my husband and my children. And all this stuff
Mm,
is could be behind me. But then you have someone call and say, oh my God, what you just did for my daughter, or oh my God, what you just said to my sister on the phone, or oh my God, thank you for the support that you give to these moms and babies. It makes you keep going, right? But sometimes you do need the
wow.
reminder, because it's days where you just like, I'm done. I did enough of it, God. I'm done. And if it's His will, it'll keep going. If it's not, then He will tell you it's time to do something different.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. What advice will you give to the younger self on this Women's Day? To the younger self, yourself, maybe you imagine this, you're 20 years old. When you were 20, what advice would you give to yourself?
Mm.
Be more selfish,
What advice will you give to your younger self
because
on the
men
Women's Day?
sounds,
Well, sorry,
yeah,
That's a good one.
be more selfish.
what do you say?
I said be more selfish, which means take care of yourself, you know,
Mm,
because I remember back in the days in my 20s, or even when I was younger in my teenage years, I was so attached to people. I wanted to please them. I wanted to do things which makes them happy. So I was actually determine my own or jeopardize my own well-being or my own decisions or my own paths, you know, because I was like, oh, I want to be with this person, I want to please this person, I want to spend time with them. So then I change my perspective, I change my decisions, and then I do what they do, you know. So I was giving up a part of myself because I wanted to please others, and I wanted to, I was attached to others, you know. And it was a pattern in my life, in my in my childhood and in my early 20s, when I realized I shouldn't do this. I should just do what I want to do and then just follow up on my things, and then I shouldn't be attached to
Nonsense.
others.
mm. For my younger
What do you
self,
think,
I would
Doctor?
just say stay the course because it's so many rewards on your 40s. It's rewarding. So I would just tell my younger self, stay the course, just keep going. Even in the midst of everything that you're going through, just keep going because
I
it
love
is
that.
an award on the other side of it. Like just keep going. Persevere. Just
Mm,
keep going. The resilience that you have, keep it. Don't change it.
I
The
love that.
boldness that you have, keep it. Don't change
Mm,
it. The courageousness that you have, keep it. Don't change it. That's what I would tell my younger self because this older one, I'm still like, am I still bold? Do I still have confidence? Am I courageous still? So just keep going because that Tish back then, yeah, you couldn't tell her nothing. She was a go getter. She was getting it. So keep going. Keep being that person
absolutely.
that show up for others because it's so rewarding on the other side of it.
I love that. I really love that. How do you think women can support and uplift each other?
Mm,
Because, we still have more. Like last time when we are on the show, do you remember when we discussed about women are not supporting each other enough? So how can we do that to
I
support
think
each other more?
I think the very important thing is to be there for each other,
sorry?
to listen, to be there for each other, to listen, because many women are so lonely out there that no, they have nobody to turn to, or nobody understand them, you know, because either because it's the difference you know, in age, like that they can't talk to their mother, or they can't talk to their children about their issues, or they can't talk to their husband, or they don't have a husband, you know. I meet with so many lonely women in my profession, you know, coming to me and my clients. There are so many lonely women out there in their 40s and 50s. So just being there to listen, just being there to be an ear and telling them like, yeah, I'm here, I'm standing here for you, and I'm listening to you, and that I know how you feel, or I understand you. That's already so huge. I have a
Mm,
community, I have a group where I coaching people, and they always, when I ask them like, what do you like the most about it, they're not saying that the trainings I provide, they're not saying that the tools I give them to overcome things, they're saying that they are in a community and they can relate to each other. They listen to each other and they are like, wow, she's going through the same thing, like I'm going through the same thing, and this gives me strength to overcome, you know, or to move forward, because I'm not alone. So I think the biggest issue is being lonely, and if you already show them the way not to be alone, it's already helping them a lot.
mm,
wow.
that's good.
Katina say, I wish I had a better discernment at 20 years ago.
That's good. That's good, Katina. That's real good.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's real good. We
What
we
is
did. I
feminine,
feel like we did too.
feminine mean to you? Be
Hmm.
a feminine. What does that mean to you?
So for me, I would say women need to cheer each other on more, even if you're in the same industry. I really believe that God gives each one of us a vision, and I really believe.
Mm,
Hold on, y'all. Shut the door, Adriana. I'm live. All the family over this weekend. I apologize, y'all. My
it's
grandbaby want
okay.
me so bad. Um, what was I saying? So we need to cheer each other on. We need to be there for each other, even if it's in the same industry. We do need to have more sister groups. We do need to have more times where we're patting each other on the back. Being a listen, it's a listening ear. Sometimes I get on the phone with Katina or some of my other sisters, and I don't do all the talking, because sometimes they need to let me know that I'm listening. So being a listening ear, like you said, we really do have to do that, and we need to do it more now than ever because, like I said earlier on the show, mental health is running rampant. Things are happening in our community, and we need an outlet. We need somewhere to go. We need somebody to talk to, and we need to just be heard outside of our regular circles. And so that's what I think we need in this hour more than anything. Yes, we're patting each other on the back for Women's Month, but let it don't just stop at March. All month long, make yourself intentionally available to people you know that is going through or that needs you. Make yourself intentionally sharing and liking and supporting other people's stuff, even if they're in the same industry, because we are better together and we're definitely stronger. We think it's good to have our men support us and cheer us on. How much stronger you think we'll be if we're supporting and pushing each other?
Absolutely.
Oh, how much stronger will we be if we really did it and meant it? So that's what I think we need to do in this hour.
I love
That's
that.
what I think we need to
I
do
love
in
that.
this hour.
I love that. I think we there's a gap there that women should understand that we can help each other and support each other more, like giving more time to each other. What do you advise the young women outside there, the women outside there who have them? What is your message to them? What do you want to tell them?
to take care of themselves physically, mentally, and
Mm-hmm.
because most of the time even the mental issues are coming from lack of sleep, lack of nutrients, lack of
Hmm.
the things which is basics. We are sometimes missing the basics because we so much caught up on serving or loving or nurturing others, and we start missing sleep, we start missing nutrients, not eating enough, missing meals, and then eventually it's causing anxiety, stress, panic attacks, not having to met all of those needs of your physical body. So just to start with the basics is so important to make sure that you have all, everything what your body needs, and it's already, if you already in some kind of mental issues, you're gonna already see that the symptoms is gonna be much less, and then it helps you to manage it better. So just taking care of the the basic needs is already a big step.
Yeah, that's good. I will piggyback off of that. I really believe, like we said earlier, it's a season of rest. You have to rest and rejuvenate yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself to others. We were saying, sometimes we don't even know what we're doing or why we're doing it or if we're supposed to be doing it. And sometimes it really is just lack of rest and stressing yourself out on things that you may already be coming out of that season and into a different season. So you won't know that you're coming out of that season and into a different season if you don't rest. And I really believe that was my biggest problem, was that I was such a mover, shaker, shaker, mover that I did not rest like I should. And then I start questioning the things that I'm supposed to be doing or am I supposed to be doing. But like I said earlier, if you're asking yourself those questions, then you need to rest and reset. Some people call it rebirth. Whatever it is for you, you need to do it so that you can mentally be prepared for where you're going next. And we don't know where we're going next if we're super tired. We're cranky, we're double-minded. A whole lot of stuff happens when you are not getting proper rest. And that's not just rest from sleep. That's taking a set back and a step back from your everyday moving and shaking and really get some time with God. It's really just your meditation time to hear from Him and not always praying and asking for stuff. Sometimes you just need to, what you say earlier, Miss Kiss, you just need to listen. So get in a season of listening can change everything about you if you get into a season of just really listening, not always being the one that got to talk. That's what I love about the group that I'm in right now, reading this Draw the Circle book, is I'm not doing a lot of talking. It's 26 or 27 of us. I'm listening because so many of them have some things that I need deposited into me. So just getting into that space of rest and rejuvenating yourself, I believe will be the best thing for your next level.
Mm. Wow, I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I have something here that I really want to share also with young women out there, like self-discovery and empowerment, like exploring your identity and self-worth and personal value, which is very, very important. That you should continue discovering
Mm-hmm.
yourself
Mm-hmm.
and empowering yourself as much as you can and explore your identity. What do I mean by that? Every one of us have something that unique inside of us that you are
Yeah.
willing to achieve. So never stop whatever you are willing to achieve. Never feel like, maybe I don't get everything done today. I believe it's going to ring and it's going to come. So continue to explore your identity and self worth. Be strong of who you are, accept what is going on around you, and focus. As my sister said, resilience is one of the key. Never let anything to stop you. Never let the environment or wherever you are living to stop you or somebody tell you are not worthy of what you are doing.
Yeah.
Continue pushing on, continue. I do that so many times. The first time I came to Finland, a lot of people say black people don't do this, black people don't do that, blah 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 this stuff. I said that I want to do something that they have never done before.
That's good.
I want to change history. I want to do something that people don't used to do. They feel like because people are so timid, they feel like, okay, I'm a foreigner in this country. I don't want to do something more too much that they won't face something like this. I did something that is beyond women, like beyond what people there would think like, okay, a black person could do. I say, okay, if there's a time a Finnish person come and ask me, say, Deborah, we love people like you, but we don't like people like you to feed us. I say, oh my God.
Mm.
I told the woman, say, if
Wow.
there's nobody like that before, I want to be the person like that. I want to employ as much as Finnish people as in my office. And which I did. I break the record. I was paying salary,
Mm.
I was doing all these things, and I said, okay, I want to bring people, politicians, European Parliament in one room, hosted by Deborah. And I did it. I break the
Amen.
record. I did the first African fashion show in Finland. I did it. The first African magazine in Finland. I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it may be challenge, but never doubt your words, what you want. Never.
Yes.
I, the only thing I don't take is no to anything I want to do. It may take strength, it may take challenges, but I want to do it and I'm going to achieve it.
Yes.
I was telling of
Do it.
my team, I said, I want to be the richest woman in the world. That's my target. Richest woman I want to be does not mean that I want to invest in money to have a lot of money for myself. There's a need for that. I want to be the richer for the kingdom. I want to help as much as I can, not to call me that the money is there. There's a need for money for people around the world. I want to support businesses. I want to support NGOs. I want to do that. Whenever God is giving me idea, I always write it. I told somebody that if a man who does not understand who God is have 120 businesses, I want to have 320 businesses across the world. So why will I be a spiritual woman without connecting with the world? The Bible says those who love their God will do great things and exploits. So when I'm not working in that category, there's something that is wrong that I need to adjust. So never doubt yourself. The Bible says, let us make a man in our own image, an image of God. God created them. So we are like him, we produce, we can create ideas in connecting with the Almighty Himself, giving us idea and we implement it. He can give you ideas, something that you can't even, that will be the solution to the world. So never doubt yourself and always employ your identity. I love that. That is my
Yes.
message. every woman and the young outside there. Wherever you
That's so
find
good.
yourself, no matter what the country may look like, you have a purpose. There's no mistake of you being in that country. There's a reason that you are born in that country wherever you are. So there's a
That's so
mission.
good.
You can't just come to the earth for like no nothing. There's a purpose for you. So always believe God in you.
That's so
Thank you
good.
so much. I really love you,
That's so
sister.
good.
Sure, thank you for always be there. Edith,
Oh,
I love you so much. I really appreciate your time. These are the powerful women that I believe so much. Dr. Glacial is working on a lot of projects, the Kingdom Business Vetting Coach. She is a coach, and I always behind her every time, knocking the door for
mhm.
assistance. The
Thank you for
same thing
having
with
us.
Esther. I'm always there. She is the holistic therapist. Wherever you are across the world, if you need help of this woman, I'm telling you, they are there for you. They are there for you. I love you so much. I'm working on a Black Girls Land, which is, I wrote it here. I'm calling every NGOs to be part of the project. The target is to provide a safe and supportive environment where young girls and women can learn, grow, and develop the skill and confidence needed to succeed in their personal life or into the professional life. So it's going to be master class. So I'm going to send the project and how we're going to work with it. I really want to work with every woman that I believe in. God bless you so much. I love you from the depth of my heart. I really appreciate your
Oh,
time.
we love you too. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
And
having
that's
us.
why
Love you
after
back.
this, I'm going to post all your certificates because I follow every woman there who are being there, struggle, standing, challenges, but you never stay down. You're still looking for way. How can I impact somebody's life there?
Yeah.
How can I still give somebody? How can I give them idea, the energy, the power that's in me to make somebody be alive? A lot of people out there need us a lot. No matter what the challenges may be, you women that I believe in, you are standing in the gap for many of us there. And I really want to celebrate you. I honor you and we speak your name all days. You are powerful women and you are so strong. We look for you. Thank you so much for being here for me. I love you all.
Thank you.
I don't want to say
Amazing.
I'm very emotional. Don't mind me. I'm always like that. And my eyes is wet already. You're facing a lot of challenges, no some and the challenges that you are facing does not make you to look down on everyone. You are still standing. You are
Yeah.
still standing. You have your personal challenges, you have your struggle, but you are still there. I watch everybody on the social media. I look at everybody on social media and you are doing great things. Many times you're online edit, I see what you're doing. I always watch. Dr. Koteshi, you're doing the same thing. You are one of the women that they have to celebrate every time. I want to tell you that. You
Mhm.
are. You support women, even though some of women are giving you headache, let me say it that way, that you pour on them and at the same time maybe you are regretting because of what they give you back, they eat you back. But you never stop pouring out there. So we need to continue celebrating you and make you feel like yes, you worth the serving award, you worth the honoring, celebrating every time. There are
Thank
people who are doing it because they want people to see them. There are people who are doing it because they just want to do it. But you are doing it because it's your passion. It's what you have instead of you. So when somebody is pointing out whatever I mean, let me say he or she has instead of you will know that this person want to see the great things out of you out, the better out, so that you can stand. You could see it. So I see that in you, women. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you for those kind words. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
so
very
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
I'm happy to see you. God bless you. We're gonna end it now. God bless you. See you again later.
You guys.
Bye.
Yes, bye bye.
No, we didn't kick it, but
Oh.